Hi, everybody. I'm back! Yeah! Spidey is back tonight, folks. And I'm raring to go. Anyway, we're going to be talking about a particular actually pretty fun little movie called R.I.P.D, which came out like 2013. But before I get to that, as you all know, I have to dedicate this to Kara C. Hon, I miss you. I wish you would just marry me. I miss you so much. Okay. Let's talk about this movie. Well, actually, let's talk about Penny. Penny's actually been doing a lot of different not movie reviews, but webcasts lately, and he's actually been doing a pretty good job, in my opinion. And he's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. He's got all these gimmicks and these different hairstyles and stuff like that. He's doing actually pretty good. It's actually between me and Penny, Penny the Lonely Clown, I should say. And me. I do the movie reviews. He kind of does some movie reviews once in a while, but he kind of like just plays it for laughs. He's basically kind of like, it's just it's just stupid, goofy humor, And I like Penny. He has a big fan following, a fan base anyway. It's unbelievable. He has so many views on his videos all over the internet. It's unbelievable, man. I am jealous. Because he's actually doing better than me, and I actually started this webcast, maybe about 7-8 months ago or something like that. Yeah, he's actually he's above me in views and stuff like that, But I'm actually the better movie reviewer because I actually just sit and talk about Louise, and I don't have a lot of crap going on back there, and so basically I'm kind of more serious about what I'm doing. So anyway, let's talk about the movie now. This movie is pretty much, if you like the Men in Black movies, you'll like this movie. It's basically kind of a ripoff. It has the same kind of basic story as the Men in Black. Those were aliens on Earth disguised as humans, of course. We all know that. You've seen, millions of people have seen those movies. This is actually about dead people who are back on Earth disguised as living. They look like just like living people on the street, but they're actually dead. But if you want to get them out of their cocoon, so to speak, you just bring them some kind of spicy Indian food like curry powder or something like that. They don't like stuff like that, or they basically starts to transform back into looking dead again and everything. That's how. Anyway, forget about that for a minute. Let's watch a clip for a couple minutes. It's actually a pretty cool movie. Let me see if I can get this to. Julia.
I'm sorry, I don't know you.
Can you all hear this? This is Ryan Reynolds basically attending his own funeral. Of course, there's Kevin Bacon, his sleazy partner, who... Oh, I'll tell you that story in a couple of minutes. It's really disgusting. Poor Ryan Reynolds, he was murdered by his partner. Now, there's Jeff Bridges.
How could she not know it was me?
To them, you don't look like you don't sound like you. You try to tell them who you are, it comes out all garbled up. The universe, in its ultimate wisdom, will not let you reveal yourself. It's smarter than us.
That's sick.
That's sick.
Consider it the universe's witness protection program.
Oh, that's good. Let's get this camera just a little bit. That's a little better.
These are your IDs. Federal.
That's pretty good. What I really like, just enough to watch this movie for minutes.
An old Chinese guy?
Old Chinese guy.
What about you?
That's his disguise on Earth, Ryan Reynolds, old Chinese guy, man. That's what he looks like. He looks like, I can't think of the actor's name. That's what he looks like. Anyway, yeah, let's go back here. Let's talk about me, because I'm talking about the movie. Okay, I had to turn the volume down a little bit. Anyway, what happens is Kevin Bacon shoots Ryan Reynolds in the back during a drug bust or some kind of in a big old warehouse with tons of thugs and everything, and mobsters and stuff like that. So what Kevin Bacon is just a complete sleazeball. He shoots his own partner in the back, Ryan Reynolds, man. He kills him. Of course, Ryan Reynolds is on his way to hell. Of course, he gets interrupted by R.I.P.D, which actually recruits people they think that might be really good in the organization. So he has a choice: either be judged or go to hell or to heaven, or join R.I.P.D, which he does, because he wants to try to get back and try to tell his wife that he loves her and everything like that. Of course, she doesn't know. No, he's dead to her, basically. He's dead to her. He looks like an old Chinese type guy. I can't think of the actor. Like I said, I can't think of the actor's name, but that's what he looks like when he's up talking to his wife and stuff. But it's actually Ryan Reynolds, and then it gets flashbacks between Ryan Reynolds and what he really looks like on the street to normal people. So. And he ends up he gets teamed up with Jeff Bridges. Now, I have to talk about Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges plays this 1800s lawman that's actually really, really good. He is such a good actor. He has this, like, southern, Texas drawl, and he's got all these old, like, 1800 sayings and stuff like that. And he's been on R.I.P.D for us for quite some time. And, of course, Ryan Reynolds gets teamed up with him. And of course, Jeff Bridges does not want to have him as a partner. And there's some great scenes. Ryan Reynolds, actually, I'm not the biggest fan of his, but he actually does a pretty good pretty good job in this movie. Him and Jeff Bridges are pretty good partners. I mean, Jeff Bridges has some of the funniest lines I've ever heard in my life. He's always pissed off in this movie because when he got killed back in the 1800s, he got basically eaten up by a pack of coyotes. They were chewing on his bones and everything. That's how he died back in the 1800s, and he was recruited by R.I.P.D. And of course, he's still disgruntled and everything, because he didn't have nothing back then. Of course, it was not too good back in the 1800s when you lived in the Old West and stuff like that. So of course, he's reluctant to take on Ryan Reynolds as his partner. Of course, he does, and he does. There's one great scene where Ryan Reynolds is going to try to shake his hand on precinct number 3. That's where they were. There's like 5 precincts. They kind of look like Men in Black type buildings. Inside with all the officers and stuff like that. And so he tries to shake Jeff Bridges' hand, and Jeff Bridges, just before Jeff Bridges pulls his hand away and goes, gotta earn that. Ryan Reynolds just wants to punch him in the face for that. It's like, you son of a bitch. Of course, it's the movie. The movie's pretty good. It basically is they're trying they call them the deados. That's what the R.I.P.D cops call the deados, and it's actually pretty funny. There's a lot of great scenes in this movie. I think it's a pretty original movie. I don't think it really fails in any department. I think it's pretty much a winner, from top to start, from bottom to, what am I saying? I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. From start to finish. Hey, we'll start with that one. From start to finish. And so here's a cover of it. There's Jeff Bridges. Yeah, I think you get an idea what Jeff Bridges looks like. He always wears this cowboy hat, and about halfway through the movie, it gets blown away during a big battle scene or something with the Deados or something like that. And he's really pissed off about it. And he's pissed at Ryan Reynolds because he thinks he had something to do with him losing his cowboy hat. And he's I would give Jeff Bridges a 10+ on his performance in this movie. Ryan Reynolds, I'd say pretty good too. But Jeff Bridges steals this movie. He is so good in this role. I mean, you gotta love Jeff Bridges. I mean, he's been in just probably about 100 movies, and he's always outstanding in his movies. I mean, you cannot beat Jeff Bridges in his movies. I think he's won some Academy Awards. I'm not even sure. Of course, Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. He has a lot of great one-liners back. They kind of like garble. They kind of like, oh God, how can I say this? They're always smart. They're both smart Alex, really. And they're basically battling each other. They're always saying crap to each other, and the other one's responding, stuff like that. And they actually work pretty good as a team in this movie. I have to give it, whoever paired these guys up actually did a good job. And of course, you got Mary Louise Parker. She plays Jeff Bridges' love interest at the R.I.P.D. Precinct number 3, I believe I think that's where they work. There's, like I said, there's like 4 or 5 or 6 precincts in there. They're like the 3rd largest precinct, you know, in the dead chasing world. And, you know, of course, it kind of looks like a police station, you know, kind of like the Men in Black type of organization, where all the deados are being, you know, detained and they're being shipped back to hell, you know, because they're actually dead. And the R.I.P. really don't want them on Earth because they're troublemakers, just like the aliens in the Men in Black series. So it's basically, the story is pretty much exactly the same as Men in Black, except this has dead people instead. Now, I truly believe that this movie is actually, there's the back cover. Let's take a look at the back cover. Isn't that pretty cool? You can't, it's just, actually, this is the Blu Ray version. Isn't that pretty cool? Never mind that, I got it used. It's got a lot of good special effects. I mean, if you like the special effects in Men in Black, you like the special effects in R.I.P.D. I actually think, I hope they do a sequel to this movie. I think this movie deserves a sequel, and I would love to see Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds come back and reprise their roles, because I think these guys work very well together. I think they're onto a really good formula here, even though it's pretty much a ripoff of Men in Black. But, you know, you know, a lot of people kind of dissed this movie when it came out 3 years ago. You know, I watched it a few times. I did watch it a couple nights ago again. And I have to say, you know, I watched it the first time. I thought it was pretty decent. But I watched it a couple nights ago again. And I actually liked it much more. You know, because the dialogue between Ryan Reynolds, like I said before, and Jeff Bridges is outstanding. I mean, they just snarl back and forth at each other, and you know, and Jeff Bridges is trying to, he's like unsympathetic towards Ryan Reynolds and his dilemma, you know, being killed, and his wife is alive back on Earth. You know, well, actually he is on Earth still, but he looks like the old Chinese man. And of course, Jeff Bridges is trying to convince him just to forget about her, you know, move on. She ain't ever going to be able to see who you really are, you know, anymore, because you're dead. She attended your funeral. And you attended your funeral too, watching her attend your funeral. And of course, that sleazeball Kevin Bacon. Oh my God, he is such a sleazeball in this movie, man. I'm not going to give every little scene away, because there's a ton of scenes in this movie that are just so funny and so goofy that you'll... I think this movie it's actually a comedy. It's like a black comedy, maybe a horror comedy. How would you rate this movie? How would you categorize this movie? You know, I'm not even sure. You know, maybe comedy horror, undead horror, comedy horror. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You know, I think there's a sequel in the works. You know, because I gotta find out who did this movie. You know, it's Universal Pictures put this movie out, of course. And Dark Horse Productions, I think, are part of this. I think it's like a collaboration between Dark Horse and Entertainment and Universal Pictures. And, God, I wish I could show you more scenes. Let's try to show you another scene, man. This is kind of cool. Let's see if we can show you another scene. Let's turn the volume up. It's kind of a dark scene.
You really gonna rummage through that?
Woo, that was loud, wasn't it? Oh, they're battling the dead all.
Brief after action report. Now, below average in the room.
There's Jeff Bridges, by the way. Jeff Bridges is so cool. Listen to the way he talks.
Your internal organs provided me a very soft landing. You have a very impressive crumple zone.
Crumple zone.
With the exception of letting yourself get attached directly to the feces.
Stop talking.
You were solid.
Stop talking.
Jeff Bridges is so funny in this movie, man.
You're the one who's talking.
You ran your mouth at my funeral. You ran your mouth when you pushed me out of the building. And
That
these
would
are
have
bodies.
been
You ran your mouth non-stop since the minute we met.
I think I know what's going on here.
No, shut up. Shut up and let me deal.
How you deal? You deal with the
Oh, God. Jeff Bridges just never... Oh, my God. Jeff Bridges just never stops, man. He's always taunting poor Ryan Reynolds in this movie, and Ryan Reynolds is trying to grieve over his demise and leaving his wife and stuff like that. You know, and thrust into this brand new afterlife career. I think you got the idea what this movie's about. If you guys have never saw this movie, I would truly recommend you put this movie in your collection. I think it's kind of like a cult classic, and it has, you know, like I said, Mary Louise Parker, Kevin Bacon, Ryan Reynolds, Jeff Bridges, and a bunch of other familiar faces. And you know, the Deados are pretty cool. You know, they're all just pissed off because they're dead and they're back on Earth and they have to be disguised as normal looking people. But like I said, if you want to get them out of their looking normal, they have a aversion to like curry powder and stuff like that. So Jeff Bridges is always taunting them every time they run into one with like curry powder or Chinese or some kind of like Indian food or something like that, and they start to get really pukey and everything, and they start to turn back into deados and stuff like that. And it's pretty funny actually. I don't, oh god, I like this movie a lot, folks. You can tell I'm very enthusiastic about this movie. This movie is really worth watching a number of times. Let's rate this movie because I keep going on with these clips and everything and stuff like that. Like I said, there is a lot of really great scenes in this movie. I mean, I want you just to watch this movie and judge for yourself. Just don't take my word for it, but I'm actually a pretty good judge on movies, you know, and this movie is a keeper in my collection. Always will be. Just like the Men in Black movies and a whole bunch of other type movies. You know, I'm kind of a movie buff and everything, but I kind of like specialize in horror, science fiction, you know, and stuff like this. Black comedies, dark comedies, and stuff like this. And so let's rate this movie. I'm gonna give this movie a fairly high rating. A fairly high rating. Yeah, I don't care if you like it or not because that is my review. Okay, we're gonna rate this movie. Oh god, what should we rate this, folks? What should we rate this movie? What do you think? What should Spidey rate this movie as? Now, the first two Men in Blacks I consider 10s. Like I said, this is kind of a ripoff of those movies, same general theme. I've been repeating myself for the last 20 minutes, and I know you're ready to smack me in the head with a paddle. But, you know, I'm going to give this movie, oh my god, this is a tough one. This is actually a tough one. Let's give this movie a 9. 9 Spiderwebs. I don't think I can quite go 10, but I'm going to give this a 9 because I think this movie is really, it was very underrated and very underappreciated at the theaters. It didn't get very good reviews, which I think was a huge mistake. I think a lot of people actually missed the point on this movie, the critics, the fans, the people at the theaters and stuff like that, especially the critics, because I think if you sit and watch this movie and you watch a performance between Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges and Kevin Bacon and the rest of the cast, it's outstanding. You know, it's funny, it's meant to be stupid, it's just goofy Men in Black type crap, you know, and so this movie was very unappreciated, which I think is really a travesty. I truly do. I seen some really crappy reviews on this movie, and I slap my head and I go, what? What fucking movie were they watching? Seriously. What movie were these people watching that dogged this movie or gave it such a low rating, like it was a piece of crap, or like, like a 3 on 10 of Rotten Tomatoes or something like that? I mean, my God, folks, wake up. It's worth having in your collection. It's a great, you'll laugh your ass off. There's a lot of funny scenes here. There's a lot of great humor. There is great acting, good special effects, Men in Black type of story baseline, stuff like that. So like I said, I'm going to give this a 9 because I think that's my review of it, because I think it deserves a better rating than what I've seen in the last 3 years on different movie review websites and stuff like that. Plain and simple, it deserves better. It did, and I want them to make a sequel. I want them to make a sequel because this movie is, I think, outstanding, But you have to watch it, I think, more than once. I think if you watch it just one time, you may just kind of go, it's okay, it's okay. But if you watch it a couple times and just watch the dialogue between Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds, you will crack up because they just jar at each other constantly during this movie. But then they end up learning to respect each other towards the middle of the movie and towards the end. And of course, they go after Kevin Bacon, Ryan Reynolds, and Jeff Bridges and kill him at the end because what he did to Ryan Reynolds and being a corrupt cop and stuff like that. Of course, at the end, I will tell you the end. Jeff Bridges, of course, they saved the world. Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds actually saved the world when they destroy this giant, whatever you want to call it, something to bring the dead back onto Earth. You know, it's on top of a rooftop and they destroy it, so the dead can't come back to Earth and stuff like that. So basically, Jeff Bridges gets another 50-year extension on his contract working for those people, and he's pissed off as hell. And Ryan Reynolds gets a slap on the wrist for, you know, being involved in this and helping save the world. So he has to work for these people for many, many more decades himself too. So anyway, I'm going to end this review because I'm taking too long. It's already at 20 minutes, and I'm sure people are going, Spidey, will you please get these damn reviews shorter, please? I'm going, no, I can't. Because when you talk about a movie, folks, you've got to explain a lot of things about the movie. You just can't whip through a review in 5 or 6 minutes. That's boring. My reviews are better because I kind of like draw it out and I kind of explain certain things about the movie. And I kind of like people, I show clips, and I kind of let people know what the movie's about and what I think is great about it and what's not so great about it. So basically, we're going to end this with a 9 rating on 9 spiderwebs. And so that is my review this week, or at least tonight. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go, and we'll see you on the next review webcast, and we're going to review Army of Darkness. Yes, Ash. So until next time, take it easy, be safe, and I will protect you from all the evil supervillains. Bye now.